There is one thing that I would like to mention or talk about before we go to the tier list.
Sure.
I was talking to my chat the other day about it, and since we're talking about buffs and nerfs or how characters should be changed in order to express yourself as a player better when you identify yourself with a character, is it a good choice to nerf a character based on say like the community saying that things are too good or too bad, or is it better to buff or nerf things based on how good the actual tool set actually is? So like, for example, you were talking about down forward 1-1 Heihachi having no purpose, or like, I don't know, like perhaps Paul's down forward 2 having some frames where it goes under high or where it goes under highs. Is that a point where like the dev team should, or the balancing team should take a look at? Just look at the character and see like, okay, he has too many good tools. What could we tone down in order to not ruin the character, but make him so that you could express yourself more with the character? Is that like a good approach, or is it better to kind of listen to the, I don't know, Namco probably has certain statistics where they look into their data and just see like, okay, an online Heihachi probably uses a lot of forward 4-2 or full crouch down forward 4. So should we just tone down the damage because at the lower level, a lot of people get hit by that? That was something that I was thinking about with my chat the other day, and I would like to talk about it with you guys for a little bit, because I think that's a really interesting topic. Should it be so that certain moves get buffed or nerfed based on how many casuals, maybe competitors, get hit by it, or should it be buffed or nerfed just because the moves are too good or too bad? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I've said since we started talking about balancing in tiers on this podcast that I think you should balance with respect to online and onto tournaments, because if you're a professional player and you play Tekken for a living and you're that good at it, then you'll figure it out. You'll find something you can do. But the vast majority of the consumers, the people who actually play Tekken, the vast majority of matches, the people who suffer when the balance is really bad, it's the online community. I think to answer your question, one thing you could look at is just usage statistics, because if a character is theoretically very good but is never used, then it's not really a problem. But when Leroy is simultaneously too good and the most popular character online, then online becomes unplayable. I think democracy and focusing on online is the way to do it. And then the competitive scene of the top guys, I mean, we don't need to help them. You know what I mean? They'll always find something that they like, they can make work. Some of them are playing Leroy right now.
With my question, I didn't objectively mean to kind of like separate the online from the tournament community. What I meant is should a character be buffed or nerfed based on his too good tool sets, or because a lot of people get, I don't know, like hit out of things? It's kind of my point doesn't really get through, but I don't know how to.
Because you're saying like because you should look at like, should the character get changed because of community feedback, or because how they are like as a like because of how they are as an existing character? Should the balance team be independent in their assessments, or should they like listen to the complaints which are coming at them from like? And I think in these cases, I think the balance team should listen to people should take into account like how people are talking to them, but they should not take their word as gospel, because people are very, very biased, and people are shitty at picking things at seeing how things are balanced or should be balanced, and this goes for low-level players, mid-level players, and top-level players. They are bad, everyone, and they basically think, what are things I personally struggle with? I don't like them. What a personal, like Nin, for example, was he was one of the best, considered historically one of the top, maybe 3 or 4 Korean Tekken players who ever lived, right? And huge amounts of success. A lot of people put him number 2 after Ni. And if you asked him who were the best characters in Tekken 6, he would say one of the characters he would say was like King, and that's dumb. That's dumb. Like, that was a stupid opinion, and top players have tons of stupid opinions. And the community also has tons of stupid opinions, and listening to the community too much has done tremendous damage to Tekken in the past. With this, the classic example being Tekken 4. Because when people played Tekken Tag, it was very popular as a tournament game, or at least okay as popular as a tournament game. Like Tekken is, it was way less popular than it is now, but it was very spacing focused, very dominated by Mishimas and Ogres, and Changs to a lesser extent. And people complained incessantly because it was the first competitive Tekken, and people just complained about the things which were strong. They were like, and they said, the movement is too good in this game. You can backdash to the other side of the screen. It is ridiculous. Mishimas are too good in this game. They are mixing up. You can knock down from 1-1-2. God Fist is too much. The game is unrealistic. It looks stupid. Juggles go on for ages. Like, this game looks dumb. And so Namco, being like responsive to the needs of the community, they said, okay, here is Tekken 4. And it was exactly everything. Like, I personally complained about Tekken Tag in these ways, because I was like, yeah, this stuff is unfair. And I want to see a more closer up, exciting game. How could it be bad, right? I said, I was on board with all this. And then Namco was just like, okay, here is Tekken 4. Backdash has been completely annihilated. The combo system you can tech roll like a foot off the floor, and combo scaling and pushback are both huge. Mishimas have been completely changed and are not very good. Everything about and you played the game, you're like, I see. This is shit. And
it's just so nice about Kazuya that only counter hit launches with twin piston, electric. Everything requires counter hit, and you're like, but isn't this supposed to be a punishment?
I have to say, honestly, I fucking love Tekken 4 Kazuya. He's one of the funnest characters they've ever put in Tekken. He just can't win, but he's so fun. He's so fun. You could just wave dash people into the wall and then do wall push 1-1-2. He's so entertaining. I love him, but he's not very good. But this was an exact example of Namco just listening to community feedback and then making the game they asked for. And the community was like, what the fuck have you given us? And so it is, so they should listen to, if things are obviously broken, if things are obviously out of hand, they should listen to people. But, and they should take into account what people are saying, but they should also, clearly remember, the lessons of the past, and remember that they are the game designers, and we do not know what the fuck we are talking about a lot of the time when it comes to that kind of thing. It's actually very, very hard to make a relatively balanced game. It's very, very hard. Not many people can do it. The Namco team at the moment, despite any of the issues with the game being a nightmare to get into now, and they have done a great job of this. It is still very balanced at many different levels of play. It's very, very deep, and that. They need to remember they're pretty good at this, and don't take us too literally.